It's Themistode, FightHype.com here with Eimantas Stanionis. How you feeling today, man?
Good, good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. It's been a little while since we talked, so had to get you back on, man.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, so obviously you was dealing with the whole Golden Boy thing with Virgil, a whole bunch of fallouts. So last time I spoke to you, you was telling me that you was hoping to get like a fight in before the end of the year. I know I did see a tweet from Dan Raphael. He was saying that Keith Thurman will be coming back to the ring in like sometime in December. It'll be him on the same card as Danny Garcia, also Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, what are your whole thoughts on Keith coming back, and is that still like a possible fight for you, man?
I don't know. It's good. It's good. He's coming back. It's been a long time. So if you want to fight, you need to fight. Like I want to fight, just I don't get a fight. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I saw that card. It's like December. I don't know when, but yeah, I
Yeah.
saw. It's crazy. Floyd is coming back.
I know, right? It's supposed to be like just an exhibition, though. So, but it is what it is.
I,
But
oh,
I
I
think
guess.
against the guy that he fought last time, John Gotti or something like that, some type
Uh,
of guy. Yeah.
uh,
And they had like that big riot in the ring and stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, I guess they're doing it again, whatever. But what are your kind of like your whole thoughts on Keith, man? He doesn't really fight as much, and then he kind of pops up out of nowhere, talks a lot of shit to people. Like what are kind of your thoughts about him, man?
Yeah, it's funny. Of course, he wants to fight the big names. He wanted to get a Crawford fight and or maybe some other fighter. So it's good for him. Of course, he wants to get a big fight, but he wasn't fighting for a long time, and now there is like a new generation, new blood. In the welterweight division. So he has to fight somebody.
Is that a fight that you see happening for yourself? And if it does happen, like how exactly would you see it playing out, man?
To be honest, I don't know. I just want to fight. It's like frustrating time and it's very stressful. I'm training. They say maybe this month you will fight, maybe that month, maybe this month. And my team just working on it and I'm just training and it's crazy. Like I feel like I'm a little bit retired. I love the sport, everything, but it's like it seems I can't fight, for some reason. I don't know why.
Do you expect to fight before the end of the year though?
I hope, I just that's what I can do. At least, hope. Yeah,
It's becoming like pretty obvious that you and Jaron Ennis, because Virgil's not there anymore. It was really like you three guys, but Virgil's not really there anymore. So it's kind of becoming obvious that you and Jaron are gonna be like that, kind of like that big fight, maybe like a unification fight down the line. Do you need like a few more fights under your belt before you jump into the ring with a guy like Jaron, who's been very active and is a very good fighter?
yeah. Before I said no because when we spoke last time, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months. I don't know. It's like the time flies. It's like crazy. So before I said no, I could step in, right away. But now I think I need just to fight, to fight with somebody, because I need to show up. I always show up, so that's my thing. I always show up. It doesn't matter if I'm injured or sick or something. I always when I sign the contract, I know I'll be there. Of course, anything can happen. This is the sport. It's not like team sport. So if I'll get very sick, of course I have to pull out. But I always try to do my best, even in bad circumstances.
I know you just said that you probably do need like a few fights under your belt before you jump into a ring and jump into the ring with a guy like Jaron. But do you feel the same way for a guy like Heath Thurman, who is also a very good fighter, but he has been inactive? Do you think you need a few fights before you fight him, or would you be willing to fight him immediately next?
No, he haven't fought. I think this same time as me. Like I don't know how many months. I haven't fought in 19 months. He maybe 17 months or something. So or 16. I don't know. I think he fought Barrios, but I don't know. That will
2016.
be great because I was inactive and he was inactive, so makes sense.
How exactly would a fight like that play out? Obviously, you think you're gonna win. You're never gonna say the other guy's gonna beat you, but like, how exactly does it kind of play out in your mind, man?
I just can say one thing. I'm very disciplined fighter. Of course, it's not always guaranteed if you are doing everything right. I always go training, go sleep. No bullshit. So that's why I'm stressful. Because I don't do anything. I have no vacation. Pretty much, I doesn't have a life. I just go train, sleep, recover, train, and that's it. It's my life. It's very boring, but I know when the fight day comes, and I will be in the locker room. I'll tell myself I did everything right, what I supposed to do, and I'll have no doubts. So I don't know. Of course, I want to win, and I always do whatever it takes, to win. And of course, I want to show, to show myself to American audience. So that's my thing. That's why I want to be stay active.
Not to really like focus on Keith so much, but like you said, he's been inactive. Some of the other guys kind of have like dates lined up, like Barrio just fought. Cody Crowley is kind of calling out Barrio, so a few guys are kind of like tied up and whatever. That's why I'm kind of focusing on Keith Thurman. But when you look at Keith, do you kind of look at him like I kind of need him because people may not like him, but he's really popular and he can really fight his ass off. So do you look at him and say, if I get that fight and if I could beat him, my star power will start really climbing up?
Yeah, of course, that's the fight that will push me, in American audience, and get me more recognition. So that will be perfect if it could happen. I don't know. I hope so. Any fighter, will be great. Any fighter, who's more known. So I'm willing to fight anybody. That's my thing. Of course, with tennis, I would need, to get one fight.
Gotcha. What were your thoughts on, like Barrios beating Ugas the way he did? He beat him pretty decisively.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't seen the fight. I only saw the highlights because of the time difference,
Mm,
and I can't find the fight.
mm.
So hopefully they will upload it as soon as possible. So I will check it out. I saw he got knocked out, August, but I
Well,
was
no,
thinking the
no,
inactivity
he got knocked
kills.
down. He got knocked down twice. He didn't get knocked out.
Yeah, yeah, that's what they meant. Twice knocked down. So inactivity plays a big role, and the last time he he got his eye swollen, I think orbital
Yeah, yeah.
expand his orbital, yeah. And the other thing, plays a part. What you are doing off time, I
Mm.
don't know. Nobody knows, It's like if you come to training camp. I know most of the fighters like to take like 3 month training camp. I don't like to do that. I like to stay always in shape, So I
Mm.
just need like 6 weeks, let's say, from today.
Wanted to get your thoughts on. I mean, we're talking about Keith, but obviously a guy that's kind of making a little bit of headway now is Mario Barrios. He did win the interim title now. Um, Terrence said that I think outside of a Spence rematch, he's probably gonna vacate. You'll be elevated to full champion, and a few other guys will be elevated. What are your thoughts on just Mario Barrios as a fighter, man?
Who's going to be elevated? It's only me. There is no others.
Well, if everybody gets elevated, you'll be elevated. I think Duran would be elevated, or maybe he'd have to fight for a title because he's the interim champ. Barrios is the
Yes.
interim champ, so he'd probably be elevated or be have to fight for the belt. So yeah, what are your thoughts on Barrios, man?
Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's good fight. Yeah, I would love to fight him. It's like you said, I would fight anybody. I just need to fight. And that's it. That's when I will step in the ring. I'll be the happiest man on the planet.
At this point, like, let's just say you get the call to fight in November, December against, I don't know, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Floyd Mayweather, whatever.
Yeah.
Like like would you make it your mission to not only go out there and get the win, but to knock this guy out because you've been so pissed off that you haven't been fighting?
Yeah, I'm very mean now. I'm very stressful and I'm very mean. So I just need to fight. I need to have a goal. You know, it's I like to have a goals. When I don't have, I feel not good. When I have a goal, what I want to accomplish, and how I want to win and against who. It's like then I'm very happy. Now I don't have a goal. You know, no date, nothing. So it's everything in there. But for sure, I would love to. I would love to, and I will try to make a statement. You know, because I need to come to the US market. So how I will introduce myself. So on the big stage and with some name, that will be perfect.
Yeah, we need to see more of you, man. It's really a shame that you haven't fought since last year, April 2022. It's really a little depressing, but
It's
two
crazy. I mean, it's crazy.
tell me about it, man. So two more questions for you. One, how do you kind of keep your sanity a little bit, Like how do you keep your head on straight? Because like when I go to the gym to watch fighters train and things like that, they train pretty hard, and when they have a fight coming up, they turn it up even more. So how do you just go to the gym every day? You don't got a fight lined up, you don't got a date, nothing. Like, how do you find that motivation to just keep going, man?
It's only one thing, it's discipline, you know. It's sometimes it's very hard to find motivation, but discipline, that's what keeps me going, you know. I said like doesn't matter the bad weather or I feel bad or something, I need to show up and that's it, you know. That's the only one thing, discipline.
I I need to show some more discipline in my life then. I'm gonna
I think everybody needs to, you know, in some areas, you know, on food, on diet, on training, on business, on something, you know, everybody needs. But I don't need on diet and on training. I'm good now.
I got a bad sweet tooth, man. I love cookies, so I got problems. But my last question for you, man. Who would be I like you said, you don't really care who it is. I know a guy like Rashidi Ellis has also mentioned like wanting to fight you. But if it was just up to you, man, who is it that you would want to fight next, man? Like just up to you, only you. Who would you want to fight, man?
Like next fight,
Yeah.
I would love to fight for sure. Keith Thurman and then maybe Ennis
Mm.
after, you know, one fight. So of course, it will be a big fight and it will be a hard fight because if Thurman would fight me, he's going to be bring the best Thurman, you know, because he knows if he's going to lose, it's probably the end of the road, you know. So it's going to be not one time, last time. So yeah.
That's a
So
that's a good one.
let's say him or then Barrios. Barrios now, you know, showed up. He did a good job, showed good performance and he's now close to the belt, you know. So it also makes sense.
How exactly do you kind of like prepare for a guy like Keith Thurman? Like, do you because he fights so infrequently? Do you look at like when he fought Mario Barrios, was he looked really good, or do you kind of go back a little further when he fought like Danny Garcia and Sean Porter when he was like presumably in his prime?
It's funny because when I saw the fight with Sean Porter, uh, I was thinking one day I'll fight these guys, either of them, you know, Sean Porter or Keith Thurman. So that was a great fight, very good fight. I like that fight,
Yeah,
but I don't think so. The Thurman is the same, you know, because the age, the inactivity, the injuries. But of course, he's a good fighter. He accomplished a lot. So, but I would love to fight him for sure, for sure.
do you knock Keith Thurman out if that fight happens, man?
I will do my best to do this. That will be great, like I said, to introduce myself to U.S. market. So how you do it right? It's only by getting knockout. Of course, like it's hard. He has good feet, you know. He's moving around, but I'll try to hunt him.
Gotcha. And I know I said my last question a few times, but my absolute last question is going into next year. I know that you want to be active, maybe fighting maybe 3 times a year or so. How exactly do you go about doing that? Because boxing is it's a little bit weird just from the standpoint of if you fight Keith Thurman, well, no, if you fight Keith Thurman this year, let's just say you fight Mario Barrios, and then the fans will want you to fight like another great fighter? Like, do you kind of have to be like, okay, maybe I could fight one great fighter next year and two okay fighters? Like, how do you squeeze in three fights in a 12-month span, man?
I don't know. It's very easy to work with me. Anybody can work with me, and it's so easy because I never turn down fights or say, "Oh, I need time to prepare," or "I need this or that." I'm very simple on everything. I just want to fight, and if they will call me and say, "You fight this guy, this guy, this guy," I will show up and I will fight. I'll do my best to get the victory. That's how become better, become successful, become more famous, and that's how you earn your stripes.
For sure, man. And when you do become more famous, don't forget about me. Appreciate
No, no,
it.
no. I'll never change. I'll be the same.
All right. That's what I love to hear, man. Thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time today, brother. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.